Evening everybody, Silverbolt here, back for a Transformers review, back for a video that I tried doing once and failed miserably at. Going to be doing Perceptor. Perceptor is one of the Autobots' main scientists in the Generation 1 cartoon. And he's very much quite a jovial person. He likes to look at a lot of things, and because he does, unlike Wheeljack, who's got a bit more of a simple-mindedness to his inventions, Perceptor's easily distracted by something new. So whilst he learns an awful lot about everything, he never really masters any of it. So he does become very much the Autobot's generic jack-of-all-trades scientist. Though he first shows up in the Dynamite Island Part 2, where he's helping Chip Chase, he shows up mostly, his first main one is in the episode Microbots. Yes, Microbots it's called. When him and Brawn, who are at odds with each other because Brawn thinks that he's a coward, together with Bumblebee. Yes, Bumblebee. Yes, it was Bumblebee, I think. Who would go into Megatron after Megatron has acquired the heart of Cybertron. Something that's very akin, I imagine, in many ways, to an Autobot Matrix leadership. But there we go. This, of course, happened in Series 2 before the Autobot Matrix leadership was even mentioned, as far as I'm aware. Brawn and Perceptor had clashed at this point, or rather, Brawn had clashed with Perceptor. In that Brawn, because of course Brawn I suppose he's very much like a Dungeons and Dragons dwarf, running and beat the crap out of it. Regarded Perceptor's unwillingness to resort wholeheartedly to violence as a form of cowardice, because Perceptor would stay behind to look after everything and to think up new ways of doing things. Brawn regarded him as a bit of a coward. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. Perceptor's not a coward. He'll more than happily pitch in his fair share. Perceptor's one of the main examples in Transformers, the other would be Soundwave, of a concept that wasn't really introduced until the comics called mass shifting. Mass shifting is what they use to explain the fact that the Transformers, like Perceptor, like Soundwave, like Megatron, can transform from these 30-foot bipedal robots into itty-bitty microscopes and handheld players and Walther P-38s. Though, do you ever see a human use Megatron? Do you ever see a human use Megatron? No, I don't think you do. You certainly see the likes of Soundwave use him, Prime uses him, Starscream uses him, as a, Starscream fires Megatron off a few times. We won't go there. Anyway, no! Leave that one! Young people watch these reviews. And it was a concept that was introduced to explain this, mass shifting was. The fact that Perceptor could shrink down so that a human could use him as a microscope, but they could also use him as a telescope. And basically what the Transformers who mass shift do is they, as far as I can give you the easiest explanation, is they put part of themselves in subspace, kind of like an extra dimensional shape, so that where it stays till it's needed. It's how Megatron's fusion cannon is also powered, because of course Megatron's fusion cannon is supremely powerful, and that's powered by subspace as well. Something to do with a black hole, I think. I can't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, it's about Perceptor. But yes, that's the idea behind mass shifting. And obviously it was never explained in the cartoons, because, it was an 80s cartoon. It didn't have to make sense. But it got explained in the comics. Now, in Series 3, Perceptor is certainly one of the most recurring Series 2 Transformer. Series 2 Autobot. Between that and Grimlock. And he serves as Rodimus's advisor, which basically means that he talks a lot of crap, and then occasionally has a very good idea. Like in Grimlock's new brain, he gives Ultra Magnus the electro compass in order to guide his way around the mazes of Cybertron. despite the fact that chances are Rodimus could just access the Matrix and know how to get out of there anyway, but never mind. And his last appearance, I believe, is the Face of the Ninja, which was a very, very, very weird Series 3 cartoon. Yes, cartoon. That was a strange one. I think that is actually his last appearance. Okay, now then, in the Marvel Comics, now I've touched on this a few times with other reviews such as Blaster, in the Spanner incidents. Now, it is Perceptor. When the plant is called up to destroy Spanner, and this is Autobots talking about killing a human being, the Perceptor is the one that is opposed to the idea. He doesn't want to kill Spanner, but he's obviously outvoted. He's outvoted by all the other Autobots that he leads with him. So you see a lot of Perceptor's unwillingness to take a life, and his willingness to save others as much as he can, very much come to the fore in that episode. Where's my camera gone? There it is. Sorry. Okay. When they eventually go to Earth, Perceptor's group, they're involved with the battles against Circuit Breaker. I think they're actually captured by Circuit Breaker. Perceptor's next big role, and this is where Perceptor makes a major fuck up, is after Optimus Prime, after they've learned that Optimus Prime is dead and the time comes for them to choose a new Autobot leader, Perceptor calls up some of the other Autobots, the likes like Blaster, Hotspot, Omega Supreme, Jetfire, Ratchet and Silverbolt, to discuss who is going to be the new leader. And I believe it's actually Perceptor that proposes Grimlock. Perceptor, of course, rapidly grows to dislike this idea very much when Grimlock goes on a tyrannical killing spree. And he's part of the group that helps to oppose Grimlock. Because I think he sides with Blaster. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Anyway, Perceptor does actually get another appearance in Transformers Victory, when I think it's himself and Wheeljack are called in to repair God Jinray, and they turn him into they rebuild him into Victory Leo. Perceptor, of course, does feature in Transformers Armada, where he's the combined form of the main Minicon team. And I don't know why they've called him Perceptor, because he's nothing to do with the microscope, and he's nothing to do with the scientist, and it's probably just Hasbro nicking old names. Okay, onto the toy itself. Perceptor is obviously a microscope with, you can't really see it. Oh, there you go. If I turn it like that, he's got tracks, because he's also got another alt form as an artillery cannon, an artillery truck. So this is supposed to be his missile. Okay. Interestingly enough, when the toy was marketed originally, it was marketed under the pretense that Perceptor was a fully working microscope. Now, this is back in the 80s, when you could be rather nitpicky with just how accurate your advertising was, because Perceptor is a working microscope. He actually multiplies to the grand power of 1. I mean, I'm not really suggesting that you actually try and, you know, stick a little something in there and then try and peer through it, looking like, you know, because if you look through it, I suppose you could say, it does actually, in some regards, you know, work like a microscope. You can't see anything out of it, but it works like a microscope. Hang on, let's see, what can I see? I can see a red blur, and that's me looking directly at the light. I can see a red blur. The advantages of a fully working microscope. You won't be checking your blood count in this thing, I'm telling you. Okay, let's transform him for you, because I think Perceptor's robot mode is very, very nice. So you pull the arms out, you stop him doing this weird ass split thing, pull these bits down, twist them under. Very, very easy to transform, despite even though the fact that he's actually one of the Japanese toy ranges, he's very easy to transform. Get the fists out. This is the bit I always have trouble with, this front grill chest part, because I always end up putting it back in the wrong order. There we go. I remember the last time I did this video, I actually nearly snapped the front part off, trying to put it back into place. There we go. And you sit the shoulder cannon on his shoulder, obviously, and pop his head. And there we have Perceptor. Comes with his gun, obviously, despite the fact that he very rarely uses his gun in the cartoon, because he mainly uses his shoulder cannon. And he has 2 guns! And that has the obligatory spring-loaded missile launchers, which I believe mine are actually still on their sprue, so I haven't actually taken them off. But that's Perceptor in robot mode. Now, I really like Perceptor's robot mode, because aside from this stupid-ass shoulder cannon, his robot mode is really well defined and balanced out. You know, it's not like Wheeljack, who has gorilla arms. Actually, I'll take the guns out of the hand so you can get a proper look. You know, it's not like Wheeljack, who has gorilla arms on him, or it's not like Hound, which has an absurdly large chest. Wheeljack is very much an all-round robotic Autobot. You know what I mean by that. You know, he looks alienish robotica. Alienish robotica? I'm really coming out with some weird ass phrases on these videos. So I really do like Perceptor. I think he's a nice overall size. He's a nice colour scheme for the most part. Even with these daft little dual disc things on his wrists, he is a very, very nice toy. The microscope, if you just watch the tip of the microscope, goes out and goes in and goes in and goes out. So yes, overall, very, very nice toy. Very nice toy. There is a box reissue of him on eBay. Not that awful lot expensive. Not an awful lot expensive. I'm also trying to, just a point of interest, while I was playing around on eBay, I typed in Devastator because I want to get a G1 Devastator, because I still don't have Devastator. Do you know what? I found 32 entries for Devastator. Every single one of them was a Chinese knockoff. Every single one of them. Either that stupid-ass Micromaster World's Smallest Transformer job, or just a knockoff of Devastator. Though I have found one on an American auction for £77, about $150. So I might pick that one up, because I'm also going to be buying Guyver 3 this month, so it's going to be a toss-up between the two. But anyway, that's, again, sidetracking. But for now, this is Silverbolt with Perceptor, signing off, saying au revoir, adios, auf Wiedersehen.